Visit www.aart.gov.
I'm really disappointed here. I mean, you're so anti-Republican. And let's go back to the unveiling. I mean, come on.
If a person was on a drug you're on, perhaps they would see it that way. Most of us who are not chemically impaired don't see it that way, Dorothy.
You know what? You are so anti-Republican.
What is it? I'm not going to carry the card. I get thrown out of the Communist Party USA. So what? Come on where? Come on where? Tell me where it's written that I have to support Republicans. Tell me where.
Are prepared to make compromises and will follow my leadership. If it turns out that the other side won't budge on anything, then we're going to be here every day until we get this done. What the American people are looking for is not that kind of partisan politics. And what I'm offering is a way for us to finally solve this spending deficit problem in a serious way.
Did you hear that? And it's organizations like the AARP who control these leftist politicians. AMAC is fighting back. The Association of Mature American Citizens. Your membership can help stop the left wing. Call 800-255-4199, 800-255-4199, or go to americaisrising.com. 800-255-4199, americaisrising.com. Whatever happened to leadership? Whatever happened to authority figures discussing moral issues such as we are discussing today on this Savage Nation? And it's an interesting cultural observation unto itself that it has fallen upon some of us in the media to take up the mantle of discussing issues that really matter to families in America, such as should drugs be decriminalized or legalized? Should prostitution be decriminalized or legalized? This is the issue that we're talking about right now. I stumbled upon it. I didn't plan on talking about it, but we're very deeply discussing it on the Savage Nation. I want to challenge you right now because you're going to be shocked by this. I just found something that I thought was immensely interesting. We're going to read to you the percentage of men by country who paid for sex at least once. In other words, male clients or Johns of prostitutes worldwide from 21 studies conducted between 1994 and 2010. Okay? And they included only 15 countries for which they found data of men paying for sex at least once in their lifetimes. Which country, before I read this list, would you think is the highest in the use of prostitutes and the lowest? Well, what's the point of answering? Don't call me, but you're going to be shocked by the answer. Again, it's not a very scientific study, but it's certainly a starting point. The number one country for the use, or let us put it to this, for men who pay for sex at least once, the Johns chart, Cambodia, 80% of men. Thailand, 75% of men have gone to prostitutes at least once in their lifetime. Italy, 45% of men have gone to prostitutes at least once. Spain, 39% of men. Japan, 37% of men. The Netherlands, 21% of men. The United States, 20% of men. China, 20% of men. Switzerland, 19%. France, 16%. Australia, 15%. Sweden, 13%. Finland, 13%. Norway, 12% of men. And strangely enough, the United Kingdom, 12% of men admit to having gone to prostitutes at least once in their life. I guess that's because they're not interested in women to begin with, so it's at the very, very bottom of the chart. And I suppose the reason in Norway that the number of men who go to prostitutes is so low is because they're so high on drugs they don't even want to go to women at all. And then if you look at the chart the other way, Cambodia and Thailand being at the top of the chart, it seems to be endemic or a part of their society to use women in this manner. Cambodian men are quite ready to admit that they seek the favors of prostitutes. even though they may be married and have 2 or 3 girlfriends on the side. It's part of their life. That's according to Leela Barrick in Business Times magazine. Thailand. Do I have to talk about Thailand? I mean, but I'm curious about the bottom of the list, which is the United Kingdom. The number of men paying women for sex being the lowest of this group. Very interesting. Now, the rate of divorce has increased in England, as has the proportion of men who were never or previously married, and this may explain some of the increased demand for commercial sex, but nevertheless, I think the women and their lack of morality in England, by and large, is also somewhat accounting for the low rate of men who go to prostitutes. They don't have to, since so many of the women are acting like prostitutes, in plain English. I mean, you know, one of the things I specialize in is not mincing words. And when you have a society like the United Kingdom where the women basically are all, the younger ones act like prostitutes, which is no different than many regions of America. We'd have to spell it out and become graphic and make burlesque-like jokes here, but you know that the Hollywood establishment is pushing the image of women being like men. You know, it feels good, do it, why not do it in the road? And many of us are disgusted by this behavior. It also accounts for the fact that the Caucasians amongst us have the lowest birth rate in the United States of America amongst all races. And that is because the women don't want to have babies, they just want to have fun. So let's get back to the main issue. And let's take your calls right here on the Savage Nation. Alice, in New York on WOR, where do you stand? Are you for or against legalizing prostitution? Where can you jump?
Area. I'm for it to be legalized and regulated. Why? Well, it's like you said before with the disease. I mean, if you look back in history, during the Civil War, a lot of these guys were going out away from home for the first time, seeing prostitutes, and the generals were having a big problem because they were losing a quarter of their guys to all the various venereal diseases of the day, you know, before they even had got out on the battlefield. And their solution for it was to legalize it and regulate it. And that's what they did, and they saw an immediate drop in disease. You know, they had the prostitutes, they would have to go get a license for prostitution, go to a doctor and get
but look, there's certainly an argument to be made for that, but as I mentioned to you earlier, just because they go to a doctor doesn't mean that the next man to be with them is going to be disease-free and not pass that. She's not going to pass it on to the third man, the second man after him.
Oh, no, absolutely not. But I'm saying it reduces the chances, you know. And like you said before, of course, if they're diagnosed, are they going to stop working? Probably not. That's their bread and butter.
No, I hear you, and I'm not trying to be, kind of naive about any of this either. Are you yourself at all familiar with this practice?
No, not really.
No, I'm trying to find out if you're in the biz.
Yeah, it's, you know, people are going to do it anyways. You know, it is the world's oldest profession. And if people are going to do it anyways...
Well, sure, and if they get caught, they wind up on CNN. What could be better?
Well, yeah. Well, it could be good or it could be bad, you know?
All right. We don't have to make any juvenile jokes about it, but it's an interesting discussion, and we haven't yet heard from the other side to the extent that I'd like to hear from the other side. Whereas it's saying it should not be legalized from the moral point of view, from the family point of view. So let's go to Patricia in Arizona, who takes that side. Go ahead, Patricia.
Yeah, I just, you know, is this going to be one of our daughter's career choices? You know,
well, yeah. Well, if you turn on HBO, it makes it look like it's a choice between becoming a lawyer or a prostitute and working in a cat house.
I work at a school. There's a lot of messed up kids in this world, and is this going to be something that is going to allow our sons to keep abusing our daughters, and our daughters just taking that? You know, is it? I don't understand how people can want to do that. You know, oh yeah, one of my first jobs was I didn't work in a fast food restaurant. I worked in a brothel. You know, it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous, and
well, here's the problem.